Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers.
I can't tell you how excited I am to be on right now. It's been a couple of weeks of excitement, getting prepared, and I've done a lot of things in my life, but this has got to be close to the top.
Thank you, Reader's Magnet, and thank you, John, for putting this forth and taking the chance on us authors in presenting this out to the world.
I've enjoyed this immensely, Joanne.
Ellie, so have I. Thank you for who you are, and thank you, Reader's Magnet. You all are beautiful, and you've worked so very hard, and we are blessed.
We are.
I thank everybody that's involved with this process, because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers. We thank Reader's Magnet and everybody that's involved. I love Reader's Magnet. They say, we share your stories with the world.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me again. This is Christina Kitchen, and I am the author of Cotton Candy Clouds. Thank you again so much for spending your evening with me here tonight. I know you're so busy, and I appreciate all of your time. I am obviously the author of this. This is my very, very first book. I've talked about this in other lives as well, but let me share how Cotton Candy Clouds came to be Cotton Candy Clouds. So essentially, I wrote this book in honor of my daughter Brianna, who passed away from leukemia 5 years ago. She had a very rare form of leukemia called early T-cell precursor acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and that's known as ETP-ALL. There's no known targeted protocol. There is no known medication that will directly kill this cancer. So they oftentimes piggyback off of other treatments such as AML. So during her treatment, the very last 10 days of her life was a very, very tough time in her life. And she was on ECMO, and she was on various life-saving, extraordinary devices that were there. So she was on ECMO, dialysis, a ventilator. She was on 17 pumps of medication. It was just extraordinary, the measures they were taking to save her life at this time. And outside of her window was a church, and I was talking to her. I would always tell her these stories, play music she loved, Katy Perry's Fireworks. Katy Perry, if you are listening, thank you so much for what you gave my daughter. Her heart rate would go up and her blood pressure would go up when that played. And then when I told her this story, her heart rate would go up and her blood pressure would go up. So I knew that I needed to put this into a book. So as the story goes, outside of her room in the CICU, outside there was a very beautiful church. I told her that the church was this magnificent, just totally magical, beautiful castle. This castle was standing outside just so majestically. It was surrounded by cotton candy clouds. And when I say surrounded, I mean just everywhere, pink and purple. All of these clouds just surrounded it, and there were unicorns that would go up and down and through the cotton candy clouds and gobble them up and eat them. So then they would land down and they would hang out with their buddies, and then they would go back up. And in that castle, that majestic tall, magical castle was her family. It was warmth, it was love, it was strength, it was hope, and she could get through this. The story is not about, sorry, my phone is going off. The story is not about death. It is not about um, sadness. The story is about inspiration and how can we get a child back into your imagination, because once they get into the hospital, a lot of times the first thing that goes is the imagination. And so giving that child the courage to dig deep down and find that imagination when they're really, really scared, it gets them through so much. And that's what this story is about. It's about finding your imagination when things are hard. And as hard as it is, knowing that you got this and things are going to change, but you just be you, be awesome, and you got this. Um, a question from Fairgoer 1770. Please share about the cover. Whose idea was it? Oh, that's such a great question. Sorry, my computer's moving here. The cover was, so my illustrator and I kind of brainstormed a couple things. And what I had to do when I got my publisher is to write down very detailed ideas of what I wanted the illustrations to look like in this book. I had to come up with different design concepts, and I had to come up with some coloring concepts and really the story behind those colors. So it wasn't just like, here's a picture, slap it on. It's what was the feeling behind it. And when I shared that story behind it, essentially what I just shared to you, then their artist came up with this. Now, we first started with, instead of this puppy right here, which is her special lovey, it was Brianna's special lovey that she had when she was born, all the way up until she passed. And this puppy actually sneaks into almost every single page of this story. And this puppy is a symbol of courage. This puppy gets her through everything. So the idea was at first just that, she can do it. She's conquering her fears. She's getting through this. And you can see that in this picture, she's not as healthy and um, healthy and sparkly as she normally is, but she's finding the the happy in it. And at first they said, let's do a sword, like she's conquering this fear. But it just wasn't Brianna. So I proposed having Puppy there, and this is what came of it. And there's the castle, and then the mom that's always by the side. Now this story, though, while it is, the character is Brianna, who is battling cancer. Thank you so much, Elena. I love the colors too, and they really do depict the cotton candy feel of, when you go to the mall and you see cotton candy, it's always these really fluffy looking beautiful colors. So thank you so much for that. So when um, yeah, so if you have a child that's maybe suffering from severe anxiety or monsters under the bed or something like that that's really scaring them, this book can apply too. Well, yes, it does talk about cancer. The main focus of this is talking about digging deep and finding that imagination. You got this. You get that courage that is there, to know that you are loved, you're not alone through this, and that you can do this. You can get that imagination back, and you can do this. um, so I want to show you guys, on the very, very first page of this book is actually my favorite page. So it says, this book belongs to Brianna, and now it belongs to you. This is so special because this page actually is a page taken out of Brianna's own books that she used to love to read. She was just like me; she was a bookworm, and she would write her name in the books. And so when I saw this after she passed, I knew it had to go into this book, so that you can have a touch of her magic and her love with you as well. Now, 100% of the proceeds of this book will go to my foundation, Brianna's Love. We help support other families going through a childhood cancer battle, just like we have. And we are 100% donation based. We have 3 major programs: our Give Kids a Snuggle program, our sibling love program, and our home to care program. And through all of these programs, thanks to our community, thanks to the love of Brianna, we've helped over 2,100 kids since she passed away. All the donations that we get go directly to Brianna's love. We don't have overhead costs. So we put it right back into helping these families. If you purchase this book, all the proceeds from this book will be going straight to Brianna's love. And that will also, if you feel like you want to donate a book to a child battling cancer, you can purchase a book and send it to us. That information is on our website, briannaslove.org. And so you're actually helping us twofold. You're helping us with the royalties of the book, and then you're actually giving us a book to give to an actual fighter, which recently we got a very special donation to an actual fighter. And the little girl has brain cancer. She's battling courageously, and we gifted her this book, and it was just so special. A question from Fairgirl 1770: do you plan on writing a sequel for Cotton Candy Clouds? Actually, yes, I do. Thank you for that question. So this is my very first book. I wrote it in 1 hour, but it took me a couple years to find the words to write it. And once I wrote it, it just clicked, and it was perfect for representing Brianna and her battle and the patient. But I have 2 other children as well, and a lot of my foundation does is focus on siblings in the cancer battle, because oftentimes they're very much forgotten, not by any fault of anybody. It's just a way, life goes. You're trying to focus on keeping your child alive, and so we do a lot with siblings. And I would like to write a story much like this, but from the siblings' perspective. And I think that would be super good for the siblings to have, as well as they're walking this battle with their sister and brother. And oftentimes they have to say goodbye to them. They have to attend their funeral, much like my 2 kiddos had to. And it's not easy. And I want them to feel heard as well. Thank you, Amy. Brianna is indeed an angel. There is no doubt. Yes, she is. She's here with us all the time. And actually, that's why I wrote this book, because oftentimes when something happens with my kiddos and I am a single mom, and we see a lot of signs that she's here with us. And with that, some of them are subtle, some of them are not so subtle. And I had COVID early on last year in March. I was sick for about 5 weeks. And as I was putting my kids to bed one night, when I was on the tail end of this, I was thinking how I hadn't felt her presence, and I was kind of disappointed. And then I thought, well, you know what? Maybe I was just too stinking sick to feel it. And it was in that moment that it hit me that I needed to get up and write this book. And I really think that was Brianna saying, Mom, get your butt up and go downstairs and write your heart out. So I went downstairs and I wrote this in 1 hour. So when the words came, they came. And I spent the last year with my publisher, really honestly doing more on the illustrations than we did on the wording. And it was just an amazing experience. So I want to do that again for the kiddos. So hopefully soon I can find the words. I want to use my kiddos' experience to help other kiddos as well. So I'm going to read a little bit of the book. If you guys have any questions, I'll stop and answer them as best as I can. My stage manager posts the messages for me to read as I'm reading. So if I miss any questions, then later this week I'll go through and I'll answer all the questions that we've missed. So don't worry about that. But I do appreciate as much as you would like to ask. Now, my illustrator did a fantastic job capturing the essence of my kids. Any picture I look back on, this is literally how they are. The positioning, the who is close to who, how they're always kind of in a circle. Somehow it just all came together. It was fantastic. Okay, so my name is Brianna, and I am 9 years old. My favorite thing in life is to play with my sister and brother. They are so special to me. They are like gold. And you'll see the puppies throughout. I love the simple things in life like trees and animals, clouds, and of course, sweet and sticky cotton candy. Now, take note of Brianna's face in this. She's sparkly, she's happy, she's glowing. That changes throughout the book. And then she finds her imagination again and she starts glowing again. So these are very small details that were very important in the process. Okay. I'm always impressed when teachers do this and they do it so remarkably. Okay, let's try this. Let's read this. Why do I like cotton candy clouds so much, you may wonder? Well, that's because cotton candy is like a fluffy hug, surrounded by sweetness that sticks to everything. Cotton candy is like the love that your family shows you when you get lonely. Cotton candy sticks to your fingers and your face so that when you are done, you still have more to lick off and taste. It's like family that is always there, always by your side, always near. One day things changed. Elena, thank you. The illustrations look really great. Who illustrated this for you? So my publisher, Fulton Books, has their own in-house illustrations. And when I started, I came up with the manuscript, and then I went I was given some contacts within the industry to talk to a couple illustrators to see what my next steps would be. I was not brave enough to do self-publishing, so I decided to pitch it to some publishing companies. And I was told by these folks that, just don't be discouraged. Chances are you're going to get rejected. Just go to the next one. Just stand up each time and keep on doing it. And that's how you get your book into a publishing company. And that's normal. So it took me a little bit to get that courage because I was afraid of it being rejected. And I pitched it to Fulton Books, and they were my first one. And they said, we'll be back in touch with you within 10 to 14 days. And then within 2 days, they got back to me and were like, we have to have this book. So I was humbled. And so their team worked with me closely, and we got the illustrations done. So yeah, thank you for that question. So one day, things changed. One day, things changed. My body started to hurt. Where'd it go? My body started to hurt. Let me come over here. My body started to hurt, and I felt crummy. I felt so crummy that I couldn't put anything in my tummy. I started to feel tired, and I felt so tired every day. I just wanted to crawl in bed and sleep it away. I kept feeling crummy, and with nothing in my tummy, I couldn't even play during the day. And now we'll see that, she starts looking a little more pale. I go to the hospital where the lights are so bright. I sleep more than usual at night. I hear my mommy's voice as I sleep. I wonder if it's a dream, but I hear my mommy talking to me. She's telling me all about my cotton candy filled days with my cotton candy filled ways. When I hurt and I feel sick, I know I am safe as my mommy sits next to me and never goes away. It is then that I can go to sleep and dream about my cotton candy filled with my cotton candy days filled with those cotton candy ways. Clouds, fluffy and lights floating above in the cotton candy like light. Pink and purple and blue delights. All are my cotton candy clouds that I dream about at night. Okay. Cotton candy clouds make me feel so free and so light and help me get through the night. Unicorns flying high and playing together remind me of the times that I get to play with my brother and sister. Now notice how everything changes for her. Now she's in her imagination and things are not as scary anymore. Unicorns flying up and down, unicorns flying all around, unicorns flying through those cotton candy blues, flying so high day and night, munching on all the fluffy cotton candy clouds in sight. A question from Fairgirl. Of all the treats that you can use for the title or story, why cotton candy? Is there a backstory for that? Great question. Thank you so much for asking that. Um, so my family's really big on popcorn. And for some reason, Brianna was just not into popcorn, but she loved sweet things. She really loved cotton candy. So whenever we'd go to the mall or something, she'd see those little booths at the mall and she'd be like, oh, I really want some cotton candy. So I would treat her to cotton candy. Um, and I think when I told her the story when she was sick, and I told her, the cotton candy clouds are surrounding the castle outside of her hospital room, I think that I was trying to bring back that happy, that moment that she felt so much joy and excitement and safe. And it just, cotton candy just popped up. And it just seemed fitting because there were clouds outside, and that's what I said they were. When she passed away, we worked with a local church that she loved to go to camp with called Camp Sunshine here in Maryland, and we talked to them to see if they could do her celebration of life. And I could not handle a stuffy room, and stuff like that, like a funeral home would have. But the one place she felt welcomed and felt like she could be herself, because she was autistic, as are my other two kiddos, the superpowers, as I call it. But the one place she felt truly accepted, aside from home, was when she was at camp. So I told them that story. I told them the story, Cotton Candy Clouds. And when I went into the camp, we had a camp for day as her celebration of life. I mean, it was photo booths and face painting and popcorn and cotton candy and ball pits and bouncy houses and all this stuff. And it was just so beautiful. And there were beautiful, beautiful cupcakes that were made like cotton candy clouds. And I didn't really talk so much about what I wanted for details, but somehow everybody came together, and this was just the mutual theme that came out of it. And as I was walking in, they stopped me and they said, "Look up." They were so touched by the story of cotton candy clouds that I would tell her when she was sick those last 10 days, that they made clouds to look like cotton candy that were hanging from the ceiling as you went into her celebration of life. So it was just perfect. It was just her. So I had to put it in a book. And I think when you think of cotton candy, there's really no negative to it, right? I mean, aside from, maybe mom and dad says, hey, not before dinner, right? Or you have too much of it, maybe you get a tummy ache. But when you think of cotton candy, it's typically, a happy feeling and carefree, and scary things are not happening. And, it's just a fun, happy moment. So I think I just really, really wanted to express that and help bring that out. So thank you so much. I appreciate that question. And if you guys have any more, feel free to ask more. I love answering these questions. As I sleep, I dream some more as my mommy sits next to me by the door. A majestic castle peeking through the cotton candy clouds. Heart is full, warm sun on my face. Love is filling the entire place. And you can see how she has changed, how she's feeling and looking, but she's still going and finding her imagination, which is so important for kiddos. Cancer is scary, but my castle is there. Cozy, warm, love filling the air. Treatment is hard, body still hurts. Nights are long, throwing up is the worst. But when I close my eyes, night or day, those cotton candy clouds are here to stay. Question from Fairgoer1451. Do you have any message for parents who are experiencing loss, especially during this pandemic? This is a very tough question, and I appreciate it. Loss is a very hard thing. I understand it greatly, and I would say what I tell families that we work with, both bereaved and families that are going through a cancer battle with their child, is something that I've learned and I'm not good at, is to, one, give yourself grace. Grieving does not just end. It's a very hard process, and there's no rules to it, and there's no timeline. The world around you thinks there's a timeline. Typically, don't listen to that. Listen to your heart. Stay healthy, but get a second cup of coffee. That's my biggest advice. And I know that sounds silly. You don't have to drink that coffee, right? So you get your first cup of coffee, you do whatever you're going to do during your day. You drink it, you don't drink it, you're not really thinking, you're going through the motions. Hear me out though. With the second cup of coffee, you are being deliberate in your intentions, right? The first cup of coffee, typically we just do. That's just habit. And after that, whether we drink it or not, we move on to something else. The second cup of coffee, we're taking deliberate steps, whether it's 2 minutes to focus on ourselves. And you may not drink it, and it may not be coffee. It might be water, it might be soda, it might be a favorite dessert you have, Get a second cup of coffee and put it down if you don't want it when you're done. But those 2 minutes that you step away to make it, buy it, whatever you need to do, you are focusing on yourself. And yourself is the last thing we tend to focus on when things are hard. So this is the best thing I can say from my own grief is get a second cup of coffee. And I need to do better at that too. um, but I would also say give yourself grace. Don't don't think there's a timeline, because there's not. We're 5 years out, and I can remember everything like yesterday, but I can't always remember what I had to eat yesterday. So give yourself grace, do it on your time, and don't let the world push you to what they think is the timeline. Um, I don't think that the second cup of coffee sounds silly. Thank you, Mama. You're welcome. It's important. And guys, even if it's not through grief, just being a mom, just being a human being in this crazy world, get yourself a second cup of coffee. Maybe that should be my next book. Get yourself a second cup of coffee. And you know what? Focus on you. Elena, thank you so much. This truly means a lot. Honestly, you guys mean a lot to me. The fact that you guys are here listening to my story, I didn't think anybody would. I didn't think anybody would care. And it is mind boggling and humbling to me at how many people this story has touched. So thank you so much. Thank you. Um, okay, so I close my eyes and I see happy unicorns resting with me, tails tucked, eyes closed, snuggling next to me. How lucky can I be? Across the room is my castle, standing tall and strong, and always here to say, every day, I know I am never alone. My family is always here until together we get to go home. Being brave is so hard, but I can hear those unicorns, strong and brave, swooping through the cotton candy clouds every day, bringing hope and love and showing me that I too can fly high. All I have to do is close my eyes. When treatment is too hard to bear, I hear her voice, and I know Mommy is there. With my heart full, I dream again of my cotton candy clouds, fluffy, pink, blue, and bright, with no fear in sight. I ride my unicorn to the sky all throughout the night. Swooping down, I peek at the sky, where I see a group of unicorns flying high, showing me how being brave is possible even at night. Sweet cotton candy clouds fill my mouth. Happiness, love, and hope is all around. I wake up from my dream. I get through another cream, another shot, and another day. I am strong. I am brave. I can do this with my cotton candy cloud days. So that is the book. Again, all the proceeds from this book will be going to my foundation, Brianna's Love, and you can see that on the scroll on the bottom. And we are an official 501c3. We do have an official board and everything. So all the proceeds go to that. If you would like to donate a book to a kiddo battling cancer, feel free to send a book to us. You can even just do that on Amazon and just have it come directly to us. And then we will donate that book to a child battling cancer. So you're helping us in two ways in that part. But we cannot do any of this without you guys. So yes, we have donated to, we have helped over 2,100 kids, but it's not just us. It's a we. So a message from Amy. This story is so beautiful. Thank you, Amy. I really appreciate that. Please share the story with other people. I really want Brianna's Love to get out there. And when I say Brianna's Love, yes, my foundation, but really that is the foundation of who Brianna was. It was the love that Brianna had. She was such an amazing kiddo that just shared love in every single way. I am not quite done, honey. If you can give me one more second, okay? My other two kiddos are impatiently waiting because I kicked them out of the living room. You can come down if you're quiet, okay? So the story, the life of a single mama. But yeah, so I just want to share the love that she has with the world to as many people as I possibly can, because she's the type of kiddo so all three of my kiddos are autistic, so they see life differently. And, she, superpowers that they had, she used to love to walk around with or play like a horse or a dog. And so some kiddos at recess one day called her weird. So when I found that out and at parent pickup, I asked her if she was okay, and she's like, I just don't understand. I don't understand because these kids are this, and this. And she listed every good quality about each of those kiddos that she saw, not one single negative quality. That's the type of kiddo Brianna was. And that's the love that I want to share with the world, because her love is so much more powerful than cancer. She was so much more than cancer. So I just want to thank you guys so much. I have, so definitely Brianna's Love. If you guys would like to reach out to me personally, you can email me at Christina@briannaslove.org or info@briannaslove.org or Cotton Candy Clouds at briannaslove.org. I am on Facebook. You can look at me at Christina Kitchen or go to Brianna's Love at Facebook. My book can be found at Amazon.com. Ebooks. Let's see, Amazon.com, ebooks, BarnesandNoble.com, 7 Barnes and Nobles in the Maryland, D.C. area, specifically Maryland, politicandprose.com in DC. It can be found on Target.com and now Walmart.com. I just saw that yesterday. It's now officially up there. So very excited. And then also, it is available in Kindle. It is available in ebooks, soft cover, and hard copy. We are also doing right now a gift card campaign to give to families that are in the hospital. It's called the Share the Love Holiday Campaign. So check out our Facebook page. We also have T-shirts with inspiring phrases that our Kids Crushing Cancer campaign kiddos wrote in their artwork to us, and they're pretty amazing. Like, have hope, the world needs you. And I'm so inspired by these kids. So if you're interested in that, all the proceeds come back to Brianna's Love. So please check us out. Please share the word about Cotton Candy Clouds. Please share the word about Brianna. It's just so special to me. I will be here every single night this week through Sunday, which is the last day of the festival, at 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. And you can log on. I would be very grateful if you logged on every night. That would be awesome. Or if you just shared the word that I am here, that would be fantastic. My goal is to get this book into the hands of as many people as we can, because not only are we giving them the joy of imagination, but in doing so, we're helping other siblings and cancer fighters that are going through a childhood cancer battle. Thank you guys so much. Stay safe. I love you all, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.